Hi everybody, welcome to Sunya and welcome back to the Environment High Yielding Topic Series for Prelims 2023. In this, we are going to cover the Indian State of Forest Report for the year 2021. Okay, so we will be seeing some important concepts and some facts related to this report. Okay, so number one, who publishes this report, what is the edition, some of the basic things I'll just tell you. So this Indian State of Forest Report is published by Forest Survey of India. Now, Forest Survey of India is a body under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. That's the first thing. Now, this report comes out in every 2 years, okay? So, right now we are doing 2021 and the 2023 report is not expected to come out very soon. So, at least for the prelims, this is the report which we are going to focus on, okay? Second, this report started in the year 1987. That's a factual thing that you may just want to have a look at, okay? And this particular edition, this is the 17th edition of this report, right? Published by the Forest Survey of India, right? Now, whenever the report comes out, there are some things which are very new about it, out there done for the very first time. So we'll also see what is very peculiar about this report, okay? So here, for example, for the first time, the forest cover has been recorded in the tiger corridors, okay? It has been recorded for the first time in the tiger reserves. So this makes it very unique. Additionally, the habitat of Asiatic lion, okay? You know that Asiatic lion is endemic to the Gir National Park. So even its forest area, etc. has been recorded. So this makes this report very unique. So if you get a question that for the first time what has happened in this report, so tiger corridors and tiger reserves, the forest covers of them, and Gir National Park. So these three things have been done basically when we are talking of what is new about this particular report. That's number one. Okay. Now, this is the forest report. Now, one thing which is very confusing to a lot of students is what is forest in general, or how do you define forest, right? So before I define forest, I'll just tell you that India's forest and tree cover, number one, what is our target? And second, what is the actual? Okay. So the target as highlighted by the National Forest Policy, I'm saying, please make sure I'm saying forest and tree cover. So the target for forest and tree cover is 33%. As per what? As per the National Forest Policies, different policies, they have said this should be the target of forest and tree cover. But what is the actual? Okay. In this report of 2021, we have 24.62% forest and tree cover combined. Okay. If you actually go into the nitty-gritties, forest is around 21 odd percent and almost 3% is tree. But for our purposes, we'll just see forest and tree cover combined is 24.62%. Okay. And now we'll see what is the difference between what is a forest and what is a tree. Okay. Because this basic thing can also be asked from you. Okay. So now there are few things which I want you to focus on. Number one, whenever we define a forest, and this as per Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change, there are two criteria that you should know. What are those two criteria? One is area. So greater than 1 hectare, number one condition. Second condition is canopy density greater than 10%. If these two criteria are fulfilled, that area is known as a forest area. Okay. Now you also, like, let's say you visited a lot of areas which somehow look like forest. So they would have to fulfill this condition. Area should be greater than 1 hectare, canopy density greater than 10%. Now this canopy density varies, okay. And what is in general canopy density? Let's say this is the forest. So this whole crown sort of a structure is known as the canopy of it, okay. We know that, let's say, in the tropical rainforests, they have very well established canopies, fine. So this canopy density, let's say in this example, it's like this, it can be very less, okay. So here canopy density is low, whereas let's say here the canopy density is high, okay. So based on the canopy density, we have segregated the forest. So one is the very dense forest, The name says very dense. The moment you think of very dense, think of tropical or equatorial rainforest. Here the canopy density has to be high. Okay, so canopy density greater than 70% is very dense forest, greater than 70%. Then from 40 to 70% you have moderately dense forest. Okay, then the open forest will lie between 10 to 40%. Okay, and you are seeing that the canopy density is declining. The area wise they are all same, greater than 1 hectare area, but yes, based on the canopy density we are also seeing different classifications. Then moving forward, what is a scrub? These are degraded forest lands with a canopy density of less than 10%. These are scrubs, mind you, these are not trees. I have not defined trees for you yet. Okay, till here you are following. And lastly, if a land etc does not follow any of this classification, it is known as a non-forest area. Okay, till now you are following. Again, let us recap. Two conditions to declare anything as a forest. One is the land should be greater than 1 hectare. Second, the canopy density should be greater than 10%. Greater than 70%, what is it? It is a very dense forest. Medium dense forest is 40 to 70%. Okay, then you have an open forest. Open forest is what? 10 to 40%, right? And what is a scrub? It is less than 10%. This is the basic idea of how we define things, right? And other than that is a non-forest area. This is what forest. Then what is a tree? Okay, just a second. Yeah, a tree is the patches recorded outside forest area. Number one, it is not in the forest area. Second, it has a less than 1 hectare, right? So trees are the areas which are recorded outside the forest areas. Okay, I'll also tell you what is forest area and what is forest cover. And it has less than 1 hectare. Okay, so now I hope you know forest cover is what? Greater than 1 hectare, and tree density, the canopy density is greater than 10%, whereas tree cover is what? The tree patches which is outside the forest area and in the areas less than 1 hectare. Fine. I hope this thing makes sense to you. Now also one more thing, we have seen this classification, non-forest, very dense. So even one question might come to your mind, that in India what is generally the distribution of this? Okay, so here non-forest area of course will be the maximum. Around 76% is non-forest area. Between scrub, open forest, medium and dense, you can see open forest and medium dense forest almost same, 9.3% both of them. Very dense forest is around 3%, okay, and scrub is around 1.4%. You don't have to remember it. This is just to highlight you. For example, if you get a question, arrange the following category of forest etc as per their distribution. So here very dense forest is not the maximum. The maximum is non-forest, okay, overall, but within the forests the maximum is open forest followed by medium dense forest. This is just to let you know. Okay, so this is one thing. This is something we have already seen. Now again, two more terms which can be confusing. One is forest area and what is forest cover. Okay, forest area is, it is an area notified or recorded as a forest land. So what I'm saying, forest area is something which is notified and recorded. So you can think of this as the legal definition. Okay, on paper, if I have notified and declared anything as a forest, that would be known as the forest area. Okay, it may or may not have forest. This is the main definition. This is why this is known as legal definition. Second thing, what is a forest cover? Okay, so forest cover is the area occupied by the forests etc, basically which have canopy. Okay, this is the main difference, that when you actually visit a place, let's say, and then you find a canopy there, that I'll say is the forest cover. So please make a distinction in your head. One is forest area. Think of this just as the legal definition. Whereas forest cover, what is that? This is the actual, let's say when you visit the forest, where you see canopy, that is known as the actual forest cover. So there is a difference between what is forest area and what is forest cover. Now we have completed or understood the basics. Now we'll see what has happened. This thing I've already told you. So now we'll see the trends. Now you know, in 2019 the report came out, and now in 2021. So one question can be whether there has been an increase in the forest and tree cover or decrease. And by the way, mostly here I will be focusing on the trends. Okay, will not be focusing on very nitty gritty, but basically the trends. So from 2021 to 2019 overall, 2021 has seen an increase. So if I draw it like this, forest and tree cover in 2019 was, let's say, here. In 2021, just remember the trend has increased. We are on an increasing trend. That's one. Second, the trend for forest also individually has increased. You can see from the image. And for tree also it has increased. So one question can be whether India's forest and tree cover has changed. Yes, it has increased. Forest individually has also increased. Tree individually has also increased. Okay, fine. Now this is the part I was telling you. For the first time in 2021 report, what has been done? Forest cover has been assessed in tiger reserves, tiger corridors and Gir forest. Gir forest is what? It is endemic to Asiatic lion. This is very important for you to know. Okay. And 24.62 is the total forest and tree cover of India as per this report. Okay. Now one by one, we'll see what are the trends. Fine. So when I'm now, firstly, we'll talk about what has happened in these tiger reserves in general. We'll see some trends. Okay. So what has happened in the tiger reserves? Forest cover has increased in 3 areas. One is Buxa. And by the way, whenever I show this to you, whenever I say any tiger reserve, try to recall in which state it is. I'll also show you the map, but try to make this as a habit, right? So Buxa in West Bengal, here the forest cover has increased. Annamalai, again in Tamil Nadu, the area has increased. And Indravati in Chhattisgarh, the area has increased. Now I have a very small homework for you. What should you do? In India, 14 tiger reserves have been given the TX2 status. Please make a separate list of what are those tiger reserves. Okay, 14 tiger reserves out of roughly 54 have been given the TX2 status. Okay, so please do that. Now, increase is one. Maximum decrease has been seen in, so let us see, maximum has been Kaval in Telangana, Bhadra in Karnataka and Sundarbans in West Bengal. This has seen the maximum decrease. Okay, so 2 things we have seen, forest cover has increased in and forest cover has decreased in. Now, Pake Tiger Reserve in Arunachal has seen the highest forest cover. Now we are talking of tiger reserves. Overall, the highest forest cover is where? It is in Pake. Pake is also known as Pakhui. Okay, this has nearly 97% of the forest cover. So that is one thing you need to know, right? Now I also told you one thing, one second, yeah, that for the first time tiger reserves, tiger corridors, etc., here the forest cover was assessed. So you may be asked a question in general that what has happened in case of both. So I'm writing tiger corridors and tiger reserves. So you just need to know that overall the forest cover in the tiger corridors, okay, has increased, whereas the forest cover when I'm talking of tiger reserves has decreased. Overall I'm saying. So overall tiger corridors, the forest cover has increased. For tiger reserves it has decreased. Then second, increase has happened in Buxa, Annamalai, Indravati. Decrease has happened in Kaval, Bhadra and Sundarbans. And overall the maximum forest cover has been seen in Pake Tiger Reserve. Okay, this is something you need to be aware about. All right. Other than that, we have seen what is forest and what is tree cover, right? This is the part I was telling you. In terms of the tiger reserves, maximum here is Pake. Only remember the maximum one. Okay. And now what you should do on a piece of map, at least the trends which I've told you. So maximum increase where it has been seen, maybe you can mark it with a different pen. Okay. Maximum decrease here, where have you seen? Mark it with a different pen. Okay. And overall Pake, let's say Pake is Pakhui here. So you should also know the rough location and things about it. Okay. That is how you can prepare it very holistically. Fine. Now individually, again I'll go to other parts. So we will see overall we have seen an increase in the forest and tree cover. That is number one. We've seen an overall increase, right? Now one by one, what has been the increase? Now we'll talk state wise. Fine. So first of all, I'll talk you where have we seen the increase? Okay. So this directly is from the report. So maximum increase we have seen in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Odisha, Karnataka and Jharkhand. Here, if you only remember, let's say the top 3 or even the first most important one, that is good enough. Okay, so maximum increase we have seen in Andhra Pradesh. And why have we seen that? Because we have had better conservation practices, protection, afforestation, tree plantation and agroforestry. Now what is agroforestry? So you know it is made of 2 words, agriculture and forestry. So the intersection of agriculture and forestry is agroforestry, in which forestry is done also keeping in mind we want to maximize the agricultural produce. Okay, so that is even more remunerative for the farmers. So again, recapping, maximum increase we have seen in Andhra Pradesh. Now we'll see the decline. It is actually the states of northeast which have seen the decline. Okay, so we start from Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland. Some of you may think that overall a lot of, let's say, the forest cover is present in northeast, so you may think the states with maximum decline might not be northeast. But see, we are talking of decline. I'm not talking of overall area getting reduced. Okay, so here also, even if there is a small change, this will be covered in a loss. So these have seen the maximum losses right now, starting from Arunachal. And please don't get confused. In the previous slide, we had seen Pake, which is in a tiger reserve in Arunachal. Overall, it has the maximum forest cover. Talking of tiger reserves. But separately, state-wise, if I say, so Arunachal Pradesh has seen overall the maximum loss in forest cover. Both these two things are separate. Okay. Now, overall, now see, always remember there will be 2 things. Overall, which is the state with the maximum area. So one, let's say this is a big state, and one there will be a small state. So always one will be area-wise and one will be percentage-wise. Okay, these two will be separate. So number 1 we'll see area-wise. Fine. Madhya Pradesh has the largest forest cover. Many of you would be knowing it. Okay, which is why, let's say, a lot of developments and activities in Madhya Pradesh are often in news related to forests. So maximum or the largest forest cover, I'm talking area-wise, Madhya Pradesh. Second, if I'm talking of percentage as a total geographical cover, percentage-wise it is Mizoram. Okay, followed by Arunachal. So now you'll also see percentage-wise also Arunachal is maximum, almost second, and also it is also having a loss in forest cover. Fine. In fact, it also has Pake. So remember these 3 things about Arunachal. Okay. Again recapping, area-wise maximum Madhya Pradesh, percentage-wise it is Mizoram followed by Arunachal. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you. Fine. Now one by one again we'll see. Now whatever thing I'm telling you from now, for example mangroves etc., just remember whether increase or decrease. Fine. In mangroves there has been an increase of around 17 square kilometers. Don't remember this fact. Just remember mangroves has increased, number 1. And maximum increase has been in Odisha. Overall maximum mangroves you'll find in Sundarbans, West Bengal. That is separate. That is overall maximum. But maximum increase, where has it happened? This has happened in Odisha. Now, we have already covered mangroves separately in prelims crash course also and RRR also. Okay. So here again add these things to your notes. Okay. So now whenever you do mangroves, also revise what the state forest report has to say. Number 1, it has increased. Second, the maximum increase overall has been in Odisha, and overall the maximum concentration is in Sundarbans. Fine. Next, the forests which are prone to fires. We are talking of forest fires, and again you can write in your notes. There is a UNEP fire ready formula. Okay, which is also related to how can the forest fires etc. be managed better. Okay. Now here just remember that around 46 or almost 50% of the forest cover is prone to forest fires, number 1. And in that there are some states, for example, Ladakh to be the most affected. Okay. So in general, the states are vulnerable to the forest fires. That is one thing you need to know. Almost 50% of the forest cover is vulnerable. And in the current affairs, you might have read about UNEP's fire ready formula. Okay. Then next thing is total carbon stock. Okay. What is total carbon stock? Number 1, this definition can be asked from you. So this is the amount of carbon that has been sequestered. What is sequestered? Captured and stored. Okay. For example, forests, oceans, these are very good carbon sequestration sites. Okay, so this has been sequestered from the atmosphere and stored within the forests. Okay, so this is stored within the as a living biomass also. This can be stored above the ground also, and this can be stored below the ground also. Okay, so this is one. Now again a question can be asked from you, what has happened to this stock, whether it has increased or whether it has decreased? So here just remember the total carbon stock has increased. Okay, so mangroves also increased, total carbon stock has also increased. Next are bamboo. Okay, now bamboo related current affairs also you should follow. For example, there is a project BOLD being implemented in Rajasthan. Okay, that is by KVIC and BSF. Second, there is a Bhima bamboo which is in Tamil Nadu. So that was also in the current affairs, you should know about it. Now what we are seeing overall, that in general the area under bamboo cultivation has reduced. Why has it been reduced? Because now bamboo can be cut down in non-forest areas. Okay, so now overall just see, let's say this was the area before, now the area is less, so you have cut a lot of bamboos. Because of cutting of lot of bamboos, the bamboo forest or the stems has increased. Because when you cut the bamboo, you let's say you measure that in the number of culms which are there, right? So two things have happened. The area under bamboo has decreased. However, the bamboo forests overall, if I measure the stems, the cutting part of it, that has increased. Okay, so these are two things you should know, right? Again, this thing is also important to know, tree outside forest. So firstly, we'll define what is tree outside forest. We'll see tree outside forest initiative, and we'll also see the state-wise extent. Okay, so what is tree outside forest? So these are the trees which are recorded or found outside the recorded forest area. What is a forest? We also already know what is a forest, right? Two things, 1 hectare of land and greater than 10% canopy density. Okay, so this is all the trees growing outside a recorded forest area irrespective of the size. Okay, in some cases it can be greater than 1 hectare also, but if it is outside the recorded forest area, these are known as trees outside forest, right? That is number one. Now maximum, if you want to know overall, if I talk of area wise, and this is percentage wise, so maximum extent of tree outside forest is in Maharashtra. Only remember the top one. Percentage wise it is Lakshadweep. Okay, now last is, what is this tree outside forest in India initiative? So this initiative is by US. So you have the US state agency, and you also have Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So this is basically referring to overall the tree outside forest in India initiative. Okay, so this is one thing additional that you may be knowing. So I'll just recap what all we've done so far in this report. Now if you just revise it once, then the concepts and the facts will be very clear to you. So again recapping, we did what was Forest Survey of India, what is the addition, okay. Then we saw how are the forests divided based on number one, let's say the canopy density, and overall the second was area. In canopy density we have seen many different things. Then we see what are scrubs, then what was forest area, what is forest cover, then we also see this, right? Then we understood what are the trends for forest and tree cover. Then individually what we saw, what was unique or what happened for the first time in this report. This is also something we saw, all right. Then moving on, we understood what is the difference between forest cover and a tree cover. Trends in tiger corridors, trends in tiger reserves. Then we saw overall what has been the increase in the tiger reserves, and in general decreases in the tiger reserves, and overall Parke Tiger Reserve has the highest forest cover. Then moving on, we saw the trends with respect to state. Okay, so we saw the maximum increase was in Andhra Pradesh and the maximum decrease was in Arunachal Pradesh. And then we saw overall the states with highest cover, area wise also, percentage wise also. Then we saw this for mangroves. Okay, then we saw the total carbon stock, right? We saw forests which are prone to fires. We saw what is, and lastly we also saw this for bamboo forests. And then we ended the discussion with tree outside the forest resources in India. All right, hope that was useful. And again, in case those of you who want to cover environment in a very comprehensive manner can avail the prelims crash course for 2023. You'll get all these lectures and you can see them in one go. Very useful, and you can also complement it with very comprehensive set of notes. So that will give you a very holistic coverage for the prelims, right? That's it. I hope you found this lecture useful. Okay, I'll again see you with other list of topics. And by the way, because this topic was very requested, this is why I covered it. Okay, again, if you have any other request for environment high yielding topics, make sure to write it in the comment section. I'll definitely take it up. Thank you.